Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Let's get into some NBA action. Thursday, October 24th. We're going to break it down where we will have picks in 3 of the games this evening. Yesterday, profitable day, 3-2 with some plus money winners. That's where we're going to try to look to keep this action going. We have a huge day and weekend, I should say, for the NBA world as well as the betting world, as we have the World Series kicking off Friday, as well as college football action, UFC matchup within Holloway and Taporia, which is going to be exciting stuff, as well as the NFL that kicks off on Sunday, as always. Okay. So that's kind of what we're going to get into. Guys, if you're new to the channel, awesome. Make sure you guys all like, comment, and subscribe down below. It's totally free to do so here on the channel. That's the best thing you can do to give back to us here on YouTube. And I get to see some of the numbers, and I do see that a lot of people that watch these videos are not subscribed. And that is something where if you want to know the best information and picks out there on YouTube, make sure you guys all subscribe down below. Okay. Also, if you haven't followed me on X, the handle is at the Better Mark. Make sure you give me a follow on that platform. And we do have a free Discord that you guys are all welcome to go over and talk it up and chop up sports betting every single day with us. Okay. With that being said, let's get into the NBA action. The first game on the card that we are going to look into is the first game that we do have a pick in. That is the Boston Celtics and Washington Wizards. We saw the performance that Boston put on display against the Knicks their last time out, and almost breaking the NBA regular season 3-point record. So we saw the kind of fireworks that they were launching late in that game, where we did not get a record broken. But this is something where we look into this game, and I think this is where that continues. Now, Washington, as we talk about this game, they don't play a lick of defense, and I think that this is one of the worst teams in the association for the 2024 campaign. And so for this game, I do like a lot of Boston stuff. Okay. I think this is where early on in the season, the sports books out there are having a very hard time kind of handicapping numbers. We saw a lot of blowouts. We saw a lot of underdogs come through, but more so, I think that the value lies within the total. Now, if we want to talk about this a little bit, we saw the onslaught that Boston put up against the Knicks. I think the Knicks and the Timberwolves, with that new look, are going to have a very hard time finding the rotations that work best. Finding the best defensive fits, but the more aligned conversation for this game is the total. Okay, what Jason Tatum was able to do, kind of just picking up where they left off, right? I think this is a very big discussion that we can have, that the Boston Celtics repeat in this year's campaign. But for me, guys, the best bet that we can make right now in the market is taking the 232.5. We are going to bet that over the total. Okay. And I think it's a little bit where you might see a little bit of a public trend here. The number has been bet down. Okay. And now we can get plus 100 if we look into the markets here, where you could actually take a 232 full with some juice. Okay. So over 232 is my best bet for the Celtics. I am also going to explore the team total here. I'm going to pull this up for you guys on the screen, where we do see the numbers here. Boston is a 13.5-point favorite, minus 110. Laying 13.5 on the road. They did have an off day yesterday, but I think that the Washington Wizards are really going to struggle to defend the Celtics there on the perimeter. And, they're raining threes, and I think that continues. And I do see the Boston Celtics possibly covering 13.5. It's just a big number for me. Okay. But for the Celtics in the spot, I think they get back over 120, 130 once again. So I think that the over in the spot is a very good number. As long as we get the Wizards to put up 100 points, we get some garbage minutes at the end, I think this one flies over the total. So over 232 is my best bet, as well as the Boston team total. I do like quite a bit as well. Okay. Next game we're going to get into is the San Antonio Spurs and Dallas Mavericks. Little MVP consideration in this matchup. Okay. San Antonio, 8.5-point dogs on the road. Dallas did not play yet. We look at kind of Luka in this campaign. For me, guys, in the futures market, this is a conversation to be had about Wemby here, Victor Wembanyama. Will he see the kind of movement that we've seen in the futures market for MVP? I do like him here as the defensive player of the year. He does it all. Okay. And we know about the blocks with his length, his wingspan. That's something you can't teach. You can't try harder. You just have it or you don't. And he definitely has it. The Spurs last year, 22-60 on the season. A little sneaky here for the Spurs going on the road. I do think that the Mavericks are going to be very much more aligned and play very much different style of basketball. I look for them to be a better defensive team. Also, I do think that they're going to try to stay away from the Luka ball a little bit more so. But for me in this spot, guys, no play for me. But I do like the fact that the futures market here lends towards a three-man race. I think it's going to be between Luka, SGA, and the likes of the value play that I made in taking Giannis Antetokounmpo within a 13-1 spot there for NBA League MVP. So that's kind of where I'm at. If we want to talk about this game a little bit more so, you do see the numbers here shifting. We have seen the total drop from 232.5 down to 229.5. So a little bit of an underplay here. The spread has not moved. If anything, we've had a little bit more money towards the Dallas Mavericks. But if we look at the public betting here, you can see a very much a overly weighted side within the Dallas Mavericks money line, a little bit more so on the spread, taking San Antonio with the points. But there is a very, very strong move towards the under. That's where the sharp money is. So if my best bet for this game would be the under 229.5. It's a little bit unbettable right now, but if we do see a little buyback, get above 230, that's a play that I would consider for sure. Okay. Next game that we will have a play in, this will be OKC and Denver. Little West Coast action here, and this is a spot where I do like kind of where we're headed. I am going to refresh the screen because I don't like what we're seeing here within being able to scroll down. But OKC and Denver, okay, this is going to be the next game that we do have a play in. I like the Nuggets here. Okay, a lot of people are stocked down on the Nuggets. They're thinking they're a little bit overrated, due for a correction, a little pullback. But for me and this, guys, it's something where we do get Denver on the money line, minus 130. I think at home, this is kind of where I'm at. I think that with their home opener, season opener, I am going to be playing Denver on the money line, minus 130. I know OKC's poised for a big move. I just don't think that what they did in the offseason is enough. I think that Denver didn't do anything as well, but I think Denver at altitude, at home, they're a very tough team to out at home. And that's where I get to my position for this game. We're going to look at them on the money line, where we do see an overwhelmingly amount of the money line going on the OKC side, 59% plus 110. So that is a sharper side for the OKC side. But I do think that if you take the spread, Denver minus 1.5, I agree with the books here, 61% of the handle. Okay. So for me, guys, it's going to be Denver minus the 130. We're going to lay juice. We're going to lay the 30 cents on the dollar and take Denver at home to get the job done. All right. So I do think that there is a narrative to be had about Jokic, and he is a workhorse. He's a absolute thoroughbred when it comes to NBA and just hooping. He's everything that you want in a player. And I still think he goes a very much underrated, but I think that's something where he doesn't play the best defense. He's not, the best at guarding some of the people in the NBA. That he does struggle with that. But I do think that within this game, as long as there's no like postseason hangover where Denver kind of is sluggish and they don't get out the gate, I think that that's something where it's a matter of concern, the conditioning and all that stuff. And if they start slow, and some of the moves that they made within Denver, I know they added Russell Westbrook. By all accounts, you look at Denver and what they're able to do, having Michael Porter being your best 3-point shooter. I think this is something where you have to talk about it, but I don't think it's really going to be that big of an issue. Albeit it's maybe not the Denver Nuggets team that just dominates, and we are going to be accustomed to seeing them in the finals. But I think in game one, home opener, Denver at altitude, I love the minus 130. I think it's some value there on the Nuggets. So I'll lay them in this first spot. Going to be one of the better matchups tonight, 10 o'clock tip-off between OKC and the Denver Nuggets, okay? Last game on the card, we get to see the Timberwolves back in action going on the road to play Sacramento. And for me, guys, this is a spot where I do like to lend towards the argument where the Timberwolves are getting the majority of the handle there on the money line. However, I do like the Kings, Mike Brown, and what they're able to do. I think this is something where we do get a very strong performance from the Kings. I'm going to take them plus 1.5. Okay, so we got plus 1.5 at minus 115. That is my best bet for this contest as well. I do like the Kings, what they're able to do with De'Aaron Fox. And also, we do get a very big storyline coming down from the Timberwolves with that new look with Karl-Anthony Towns. On paper, they look really good, but Gobert struggled in game one. And I do think that they have a little bit of a dynamic to work through, okay? But adding DeMar DeRozan into the Kings, that's going to be an interesting kind of big three between him, Malik Monk, and De'Aaron Fox. So we'll see how that dynamic plays out. But for my money, I'll take the Kings plus 1.5. We'll get a little cushion at home in this opener, where I think Minnesota maybe has a more of a motivation. They don't want to start the season 0-2. But I do like the Kings at home. Also, I'm kind of shocked at the total being at 220.5. We haven't really seen much movement here. The first game between the Timberwolves and Lakers hit 223 as a total, but this number has seen a lot of movement, right? 229.5 was that opening number, getting bet all the way down to 220.5 live number. So a little defensive matchup there thinking for the Timberwolves. Is this a buy low spot for the over? Possibly, but I'm not going to back it. Too much steam on the under, and we've missed the best of it. So if you did get at 229.5 a little bit earlier, congratulations. But I think this is in response to the Timberwolves and how kind of lackluster they were offensively against the Lakers, and just kind of sloppy. All right, so for me, I'm going to take the Kings. I think that the Timberwolves, they really have a good club. I think that they're going to be kind of a dark horse to win it all. I think that we look at Anthony Edwards and what he's able to do in this campaign. I think that he's definitely a dark horse for MVP candidacy as well to go alongside some of the other names I talked about a little bit earlier. But for me, guys, I'm going to back the Kings. I think the Timberwolves struggles continue, and we're going to take the Kings plus 1.5. So that'll wrap it up. Those are my best bets. We are doing a new kind of platform to record these videos, so I will have my best bets posted into the comments. But right now, we're going to go Boston over the 232, lean towards the Boston over team total, Denver on the money line, and Sacramento plus 1.5. Those will be my three best bets as we look into getting into this Thursday slate. A little shorter slate, which I don't mind, short and sweet. We do have some college football as well on tonight. And like I said, a huge weekend, not just within college football, but UFC. We have the Holloway-Topuria fight, and then the NFL action continues tonight, Thursday Night Football, and the Sunday full slate that we get as per usual. So appreciate you guys watching. As always, make sure you subscribe before leaving this video. Smash that like button, and be sure to turn on that notification bell so when I do drop videos and picks, you don't miss that content as I release it. Appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one. Good luck with your picks.